Today on the show, we're talking about Beyonce and country music. Let's go.
The Something Else Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Something Else Podcast. That time, I didn't put the in there. So, yes, as I said on the intro, we're talking about Beyonce and country music. Now, I like country music. Mad Johnny Cash fan. And obviously, I'm late to this party. But I've got some notes in the old Pokedex notebook. First of all, Beyonce, let's be honest, she is world famous. Married to a very famous subjectable man, Mr. Jay-Z. She's a pop icon, let's be honest. Was in Destiny's Child, that's where I think she was best. And now she's a solo artist, I guess a movie star as well, a Hollywood star. And that's really where I could be bothered to do research. Because, I'll be honest, never been a fan of her. She's a great singer. I don't think she's by any means the best, or I don't think she warrants the praise she gets. But saying that, I think Adele's not that great. Both fantastic singers, I just don't believe the hype. And I think it's down to the way she sings. I've always felt when she sings, it's almost forced. Like, who is it? Like with Adele, because of how she sings, very soulful voice, you feel it, you know what I mean? Like with Aretha Franklin, you could feel it. Etta James, feel the music. Where with, I think, you know what song really topped it for me? Is it Drunken Love? Man, she's just shouting on a beach. What the fuck? But I digress. Yeah, I'm not a mad fan of her music. I've never saw the hype. It's not my preferred genre of music, but yeah, great singer. I just don't get the hype. But let's be honest. That's not why we're here, because we're talking about the country album she made. Now, I actually don't mind that she's done a country album, because let's be honest, country music is, well, let's be honest, country music's like the blues. You feel it. Yeah. Like I've always said blues isn't a genre, but it is, let's be honest. I keep saying let's be honest. But I think I do like it when bands go into a different genre. Excuse me. So like typically what happens is bands will start going, for the bands I listen to, they generally go into this weird kind of, if I use Roger Daltrey, him and Wilco Johnson did I guess kind of like a bluesy kind of album, and it works really well. Didn't Steven Tyler / Brian Johnson, and I forget the drummer's name, didn't they just do like a Howling Wolf song? Oh fuck, what was it called? But they did a blues song. And generally what I find is actors that now become musicians, they go into the country kind of folky thing. But yeah, she did a country album, so what? It's not bad. You know, I wouldn't listen to it. But I think it's, people are getting really annoyed because she won an award for it, didn't she? Like Best Country Album. And people are kicking up a fuss about it. Because let's look at the album. Does it contain the country aspects? Yes, it does. You know, it's a string instrument that you hear them. She's singing some country stuff, you know. Country, right? If you really bring it down, it's essentially folk blues. That's how I see it. Because with the blues, you know, you sing about sadness. You know, if you use Robert Johnson, early this morning when you knocked upon my door. Talking about how Satan knocked on his door. And the country is almost the same thing. I'll use Johnny Cash as an example because he's probably one of my favourites and one of the most famous. A lot of his songs are generally either about just, I don't know, love, heartbreak, just being on your own. You know, like Walk the Line. Doom, 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 doom. That's talking about how you'll go to the ends of the earth for someone. And then you've got something like Man in Black, and it's talking about how he'll constantly wear black for all the sufferers and all that. And I think what the main problem I'm getting from this whole album thing is the fact that it's Beyonce done a country album. I've got nothing against it. There's a big thing about covers because she did a cover of Jolene. I don't like the cover at all. Not one bit. Like sometimes you just need to just know when to stop. Do a country album by all means, but don't fuck with the originals, man. But saying that, she's put her own twist on it. Can't blame her for that. But I think what's nice is she has got a good balance of country and Beyonce. Let's be honest. See, there I go again. Let's be honest. Let me have a read. So yeah, I've put here so many different people have done different genres. What's the problem? So one song that always comes to mind was it with Rihanna? Shut Up and Drive. Shut Up and Drive, drive. Did it have Fall Out Boy in that? I want to say it did. That was a great kind of pop rock song. I thought that was cool. You know, Run DMC, Aerosmith. That worked. Ah, shit. Little John with his crunk. You know, when they did Let's Go with the Crazy Train intro and everything. I wrote here, it's her take on the album, on the genre, sorry. Like how there's a band called The Who, not as in My Generation or the CSI themes, but a Mongolian rock band. And they do throat singing, Mongolian throat singing. I won't attempt it because I can't do it. And they've kind of taken the whole metal rock scene by storm. Because, I mean, they just did a cover of the Trooper by Iron Maiden. Absolutely brilliant. And it's because they've put their twist on it. And that's, I think, why I do quite like the fact that Beyonce has done a country album, because she's put her take on it. It's like my band, Broken Wolf. We've done a cover of Bad Romance, and we put our twist on it. Sounds mint. We did I Think We're Alone Now. Love that song. I even did the finger click. Sounds great. It's a good twist. Even with the Cranberries' Zombies. Generally, when artists or bands do a cover, and for some reason it's generally bands, when they do a cover, they almost try and make it just a heavier version. Like, is it Bad Wolf that did Zombie by the Cranberries? Because they were supposed to sing it with the singer, and she died. And the singer, I can't remember his name, Wife Beater. He literally sings it almost identical how she's singing it, but obviously in his style, like with the falsetto voice. And I was like, I can't do that. I'm not even going to bloody attempt it, so I'm sing it in my own way. And I think our version is pretty bloody cool. But I just don't get the fuss with all this. What have I put here? Oh, I've just put Rihanna did Shut Up and Drive. It's the same thing. I think the problem is, and especially after she won the award, because she's so commercial, she's got more of an audience, hence why she probably won. And the fact that, it's not a bad country album. I find with country, it's the same as with like metal. It used to be massive, and now it's just gone small. So it's all the, I don't want to say proper country artists, but all the originals, people in that genre. It's kind of like, why did she win? You know what I mean? Why did she win? She can't do what we do, when she fucking just did. I mean, in a way, isn't that like Eminem being in rap? He's a white dude in a predominantly black environment. Yeah, he's essentially the god of rap now, isn't he? What's the difference here? And don't get me started because she's a black woman in country. I don't care about that. I was using Eminem as an example. I think that, like I said, the difference is she's very commercial. Her bloody portfolio is massive compared to some of these artists. Because even though I'm not a fan of her, she's got a great range. She doesn't just sing pop. She does R&B. She can even go old school. It's like, didn't she do a cover of At Last by Etta James? I'm sure she did, and it was a bloody good cover. When she sings like that, incredible. When she does this poppy shit, can't handle it. And I think the problem is it's because of her fame. Like there's little things she does. I'm like, I don't really care about. Like when she did the bloody whatever magazine and she was pregnant. I don't give a shit about that. Look at all these other women that are having babies. They don't get to be on the fucking front cover. No one cares. And then what made me hate her a lot was when she was in Lion King, the live actiony type one. Like, I get what she was doing, you know, boosting the pride because it's women and everything. But there was one scene where they're all fighting, and she's like, I can't remember what she said, something like lionesses fight or something like that, and you're like, it had no impact on the whole film. It was so, it was almost like shit. We need to fill this space. I know, let's just get her to say this. You know what I mean? It just didn't work. But it's the fact that she has got this big following. She's very famous, and you know it's Beyonce. You say Beyonce, you're gonna know who it is. You know what I mean? And then it's the fact that a lot of the time when she does album covers, they're very provocative. You know, like the one where she was on a horse, a diamond horse or something like that, and she had pretty much just chainmail on. And then in this one, obviously, she's got the cowboy hat and all this and all that. And there was a big fucking hoo-ha about her hair. Like, why does she have blonde hair? Because she fucking can. You know what I mean? Because I kept seeing this, actually, in social media comments. It's like, oh, she shouldn't take blonde hair. It's not her culture. I'm like, blonde hair isn't really culture. It's just a thing. You know? I mean, let's be honest, like a lot of Scandinavian countries, you know, that they predominantly have blonde hair, blue eyes, that sort of thing. But I wouldn't say it's culture. I think it's just genetics. Like, I don't know if I should bring it in, like, with afros. I mean, that is, I would say, not necessarily a culture. It is a culture thing. But again, it's just genetics in the end of the day. Like, having dreads, that's a culture thing. But I just, you know, when you're there, and you're like, can we just not stop being pathetic with this stuff and just see what she's done and just accept it? She has made a country album. A lot of people have listened to it, and she won. If anything, it should be kind of a sign to every other actual country artist to say, get your finger out your ass and do something good. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. But it just baffles me. Like, I would probably never listen to it again unless it came on the radio, but Beyonce, fair game. You did fucking good on that one. But what can you do? I think that's all the notes I've got. I just find it baffling. Like, for me, a good artist can do anything. You know what I mean? They're not stuck to one genre. Like, whenever you see, you know, the greatest guitarist in the world and they do like the top 10 or something, a lot of the time, Hendrix is number one. I love Hendrix, but he's by no means, or was by no means, the greatest guitarist in the world. He could play the blues and the blues only. Jeff Beck was way better than he was because he could play anything. Steve Vai, play anything. But they never get the mentioning because Jimi Hendrix did more, because he was more famous, because he did all this crazy shit. You know what I mean? There you go, know what I mean? And I think that's the problem. When an artist or a band step out of their chosen genre, a lot of diehard fans are like, hang about, this isn't right. But when you really listen to it, why can't they do it? Why aren't more bands doing it? You know, what do you call it? My brain's gone. No, my brain is fully gone. The band was right there. Black Sabbath. They did, is it Orchid? And they did Breakout. And they did their most famous song that isn't in their genre. But Black Sabbath do metal. They did Changes. That is a great song. Fucking emotional. But it's not Black Sabbath, is it? No, it doesn't have that iconic tone. But why should it? And I just find it's, if an artist can't do what they love doing, then what is the point in doing it? Like I said, she's a phenomenal artist. She's done really well. I might not necessarily like what she plays, but she's good at it. You know what I mean? Again, with the know what I mean, I'm going to call this episode, you know what I mean? But I'm going to end it there because, wow, I need a drink. It's in my hand. What do you think of Beyonce and her country album? It's an interesting one, really. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Bye.